Welcome back to the Vertz podcast, brought to you from the MMG bus, powered by Moss Marketing Group. This is your host, Logan. We've got Adam, Darby, and Dalton on the bus this week. No Alex, but we're going to roll right into our 60-second sound off with our games of the week in the NFL. Adam, you're on the clock. Kick it off. You got 60 seconds.
Well, I almost fell asleep again because the game that I had was Pittsburgh and the formerly San Diego Chargers. I'm not sure if you guys watched that game, but it was brutal. Bad quarterback play. Justin Herbert got hurt. There was nothing exciting about that game. The fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0, are one of three teams who are undefeated right now, is amazing. So I'm going to take my run around the bus here for picking the Steelers to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. Who knew Justin Fields would be? Well, no, it's not really a renaissance because he's still not good.
We didn't even know he'd be playing.
No, thank God for Russell Wilson getting hurt with some mysterious injury that he probably manufactured.
It's the Mike Tomlin effect. They're going to win.
Count them in 9-8 every year.
I'm so glad I didn't place that win total under bet.
No, absolutely. I took 8.5 easy. He always hits, man. He always hits. But that game, just like, I know I had to watch it because it was a game that we picked, and I literally fell asleep for a quarter. And it was at noon. My daughter was there trying to wake me up, and I still couldn't stay awake. It was so boring.
It was one of those games that you're watching, you're sitting there. I keep seeing it pop up on Red Zone. And of course, in Kansas City, it's one of the games that we have in our market for some stupid reason.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there just watching. I'm like, oh my God, someone's got to win this game. Like trying to figure out how someone's going to win it. And then Justin Herbert goes down and you're like, okay, I guess the Steelers are going to win it.
Yep.
But it literally, until that point, it's like flip a coin. These teams are just it's so hard to watch.
They're like, oh, so Pittsburgh, they have the best defense in the league. That's great. It's not entertaining. It's not entertaining. But again, win some games, and Tomlin's a great coach, and Justin Fields can play, and I really don't want to have to watch another Pittsburgh game again if I don't have to.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, brother.
Darby, you're on the clock. What game did you have?
So I had the Ravens and the Cowboys. I think going into the game, I think everybody on the bus agreed that the Ravens, this was a must-win game for the Ravens if they wanted to show any life of making it to the playoffs. They came out hot, running the ball very well. Got up by 3 scores at one point. I think their offensive line allowed them to run the ball very well on a, I wouldn't say stout Dallas defense, but good enough.
Good enough.
The Ravens rushed for 200.
Where's the flag? Where's the
you can't
flag?
reach it. It's too far. But so the Ravens rushed for 254 yards. Derrick Henry accounted for 150 of those and 2 touchdowns, and then Lamar Jackson had almost another 100. So I think going in, the Ravens did what I expected them to do when they got Derrick Henry, which was run the ball. So
run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball.
They got up by 3 scores, and then Dallas ended up coming back, making it a pretty close game, and then they ended up kicking a field goal to win the game, I believe. Wasn't that?
No, they didn't end up having to kick the field goal. Baltimore didn't. Yeah. But Dallas was a couple 2-point conversions away from winning the game.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. But do you realize that Dallas's almost stout defense has given up the 3rd most points so far this year?
After last week.
Yeah.
Right behind Carolina.
Carolina.
I don't know if Lamar was calling anyone out, but I don't know if you heard him after the game said we just took our foot off the pedal. I don't know if he's insinuating the head coach did or what, like the play calling. I don't know. What did he mean by that?
Is Harbaugh is he done? Like, has he outlasted?
He's been there forever.
I know.
Man. It's like,
is it old? Is it like over for him finally? Needs to go.
You need a change sometime. I don't know. I mean, change is always good.
Longest tenured coach right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Seems like it's looking like that, and maybe for Justin Tucker too. He's having a rough start to the season.
I mean, he's getting old too.
Harbaugh said that it's just a technique thing. He's fixing it in practice this week, so no need to worry there. So we'll see. Can't take anything away from Justin Tucker with the career that he's had, but he certainly doesn't look like himself.
He's the best kicker of all time.
He's got to be the oldest kicker too, right? In the NFL.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is.
One of probably, yeah, but I don't think he is the oldest.
Yeah.
What do you just forget how to kick?
His technique's
his
off.
technique just went away in the offseason.
Just like Travis
didn't kick a
Kelce.
ball.
He spent too much time on the beach and on private jets this summer, not enough time on the weight room and football field.
Yeah, he looks a little doughy and a little slow.
Yeah, he is. He's
I don't think
washed.
he cares though. I mean, as long as they keep winning,
Travis Kelce?
Yeah, dude, he doesn't care if he gets the ball or not. If they're 3-0. You go back to like when the Chiefs were losing when Tony Gonzalez was their tight end. You'd see interviews after the game, and he'd be like, I mean, he'd be pissed that he wasn't getting the ball, and it's because they were losing. If they keep winning, I don't think he cares how they win or how involved he is. I just think
I don't feel like I've seen the same energy though out of Kelce this year. He just kind of looks like he's there, like
It's like he's like
caught a ball, like first down.
A sports car they're keeping in the garage, like just waiting until January.
That's kind of like what the Patriots did with Gronk.
Basically, yeah, because Gronk would get hurt every year.
That's fine. I mean, Kelce hasn't had injury problems, but if the goal is let's keep him fresh until.
I mean, he's not getting beat up right now.
That's the goal. I mean,
he's not getting hit.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
Our other tight ends are playing okay. I mean, they're catching balls.
Why don't we roll this right into yours, Dalton?
Chiefs,
you got
Falcons.
60 seconds.
Chiefs Falcons, man. They just scrape another one by the skin of their teeth. I mean, I feel like this is becoming a weekly occurrence for the back-to-back champs. Like every week we're talking about a close game. So one of the takes from last week was the Chiefs play down to their opponents. My question to you guys is, when do we change that narrative? Like, we're just playing mediocre football in general.
Never.
I mean,
it's good enough to win. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, by the skin of our teeth. I don't know. The biggest positive for the Chiefs and for the game, I think, being a homer, was the defensive play. Minus the first drive, which looked a little bad. I was kind of worried there for a second. Feel like we shut the run game down. We were getting pressure on Kirk. Not really in the first quarter, but I feel like after that, we were hitting him pretty good. Honestly, if I'm Atlanta, I'm nervous about that because Kirk was taking some massive shots. I mean, he was getting smoked from behind. They had 2 linemen, I believe, that went out. So I would be a little nervous there. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all I had about it. Hopefully they can figure out the O-line, not have their franchise quarterback go down again for a whole season.
Yeah, that one was a little bit hard to watch. It was promising that Spags was able to dial up and they were able to execute blitz packages repeatedly that got pressure on Cousins and blew up some rushes there. But the problem is that Kirk Cousins might be ranked number 32 on my list of quarterbacks that I would want being able to scramble and run the ball. So we should be able to get to him.
That's fair. I mean, they were getting to him like completely and driving through him. So that,
Yeah, that's just, we've got to be able to get to quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, you know, who that's what we have been able to do when it mattered in the past.
Yeah.
And stop the run.
I will say, like the first quarter, we looked shaky. Our pass rush,
we
weren't getting there. Not even close. He was just sitting back there all day. So, I don't know. I think Spags just changed the game plan a little bit, dialed up some good blitzes. They also had O-linemen go down, so that definitely helped us. But
the Chiefs are just winning these stupid games. Won a game by a 6-inch toe or something like that. Won a game by a phantom pass interference call. Right? Playing Atlanta, they should have won this game. I don't know what they were doing at the end of the game. Is it luck? Are you guys just lucky?
I thought the Falcons should have kicked the field goal. Take the points.
Yeah.
What were they down 5?
Right.
Yeah.
So take the field goal.
Right.
I got into an argument. A buddy of mine was arguing that it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Well, they went for it. The next drive
Didn't get it.
The Chiefs had a 30-second drive.
Right.
I mean, that's you got to do.
That's
better
30
than that,
seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to do better than that.
Here's the
30-second drive with a game on the line. Come on.
Here's the thing that's different about the Chiefs than it is about every other team is that when they get these opportunities, the pass interference call, the late game opportunities,
Yeah.
whatever it is, they take advantage of every single opportunity that they get that's extra. And that's why people hate them. On the other hand, whereas with Atlanta, they had the opportunity to win the game.
They definitely did.
And they didn't take advantage of
squandered
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost.
So
Kicked a field goal, man.
it's not like, it's just repeatedly that the Chiefs take advantage of opportunities that other teams don't.
It's not. You can't call it luck if it happens every single week.
I also, on fourth down in the red zone, you call a play that's been getting swallowed up the last 2 quarters. I mean, the outside zone run.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
they were consistently beating the blitz with one play, and that was the quick slant across the middle with Drake London or the little out route. So you know that the Chiefs are going to bring pressure, fake a little toss there, throw a quick slant over the middle to Drake London, and he probably scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
No,
Game over.
Let's do a jet sweep to the left and get blown up.
Nick Bolton, man.
Yeah. Flew through the gap.
He looked
Great
good.
game.
I mean, phenomenal game. It's against the Falcons, but still stopping Bijan Robinson pretty good. I don't know what Robinson ended up having rush yards wise. I know he only had like 12 fantasy points and he scored a touchdown, so couldn't have been that many. But I'm going to get on to mine. I had the Eagles-Saints game this week, and, man, I really thought that we were going to see a game with no touchdown. That was until the fourth quarter. Saquon turned it on, broke one loose. He had kind of a revenge game after losing him the game the week before to the Falcons. 17 rushes, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Had the 65-yard run there in the fourth quarter that broke it loose. All the scoring happened in the fourth quarter. The Saints probably still should have won this game. They reverted back to their factory settings. Derek Carr, 14 of 25, 142 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Just couldn't get anything going. They tried to lean on Alvin Kamara too much, I thought. He rushed the ball 26 times, only for 87 yards. Jalen Hurts was good enough when he had Devonta Smith in the game to get it done.
Dallas Goedert, man.
Dallas Goedert. The Saints forgot how to cover tight ends. 10 catches, 170 yards, broke one loose there at the end that helped to get the Eagles down in the red zone. Really a horrible 3 quarters of football to watch, but the fourth quarter ended up being pretty good, besides the fact that the Saints kicked no, they didn't kick 3 field goals, did they? They scored a touchdown finally and tried to go for 2.
Didn't make it.
Yeah. So all around a really bad game, in my opinion. There was a lot of games that were just tough to watch this week. Yeah. This was one of them. The Chiefs game was one of them. This was a tough one for fantasy football, too. If you started Rashid Shaheed on your lineup, like I did in multiple leagues, I feel really bad for you. Saquon had a good game fantasy-wise. Devonta Smith was seemed to be unguardable until he got his head taken off. That didn't look good.
No.
So all around, not a fun game to watch.
If we I can't imagine defenses are that much better right now. Like, what happened to offense? I mean,
They were talking about that on the radio this morning. They said they think that the defenses are so fast now that they're able to keep up with offenses that were, putting up all these amount of points.
But it's just over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like that happened that quick.
That's what they were saying. I think it was Derek Johnson who was on the radio talking about it this morning. He said he thinks that the defenses are just getting that much faster.
Is it that, or is just quarterback play just worse?
The quarterback play is horrible, but we go back to what's the root cause of that? Is it the new college systems of, scrambling type quarterbacks that can also run the ball, like the Jaden Daniels, like the Bryce Youngs? Yeah. Maybe they just don't work out in the league. I mean, there was 3 teams yesterday that scored 30 points. And the quarterbacks for those teams were Andy Dalton. It was Sam Darnold.
Yep.
And Malik Willis. Those are your 3 quarterbacks in
backups. All backups
in 13 NFL games yesterday. Those are your 3 quarterbacks that scored 30 points. wild. And 2 of those were on the road. Andy Dalton hadn't played in since last year. Malik Willis hasn't really played at all in the NFL.
Shouldn't be playing in the NFL.
I don't know.
Sam
Begs the
Darnold
question.
was
But you
really off.
look at Malik Willis. He ran the ball like crazy.
Yeah, 73 yards rushing. Yep. Yep.
So horrible Bears Colts game to watch.
Yeah,
Just
that was
another
brutal,
brutal one. Browns
That was-
Giants.
Yeah, more rough quarterback play in the previous game you just said. Like,
Yeah, Caleb Williams threw the ball 52 times
And
not a
lost.
recipe
and
for
lost.
To Anthony Richardson, who, how many? I think he had like 100 yards, 167 yards with 2 picks.
Dude.
He was 10 of 20.
He makes some incredible throws, and then it's like the next play, he throws it right to the other team, and you're like,
Yeah.
what in the hell? Where did that come from?
I mean, the Bears team is just abysmal. They didn't get it right. Like we said before the season started.
You're off the Caleb train.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams said,
sorry, go ahead.
as I say, Caleb Williams said he's happy with the team's improvement from where they were last week to where they are this week. He said even though they might have lost, he said they are showing steps to improvement.
He threw a couple touchdown passes. He's
all
the
the
first
Bears
rookie quarterback
fans-
to do that.
All the Bears fans are blaming the O-line, which I didn't really watch much of that game, but I saw a reel of a guy going through a bar in Chicago. What's the Bears' biggest issue right now? It was all pretty much exclusively O-line. So they believe in Caleb Williams still. They're blaming it on
You
the
have
O-line.
to. You have to believe him.
Yeah, they
If
don't
you're the
have
fan
another
base,
option. They believed in Justin Fields for 4 years, however long he was there.
He's 3-0 right now.
And he leaves, and look at what happens.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe the quarterback isn't the problem there. That could be a thing too. The best game, in my opinion, to watch was the 49ers-Rams game.
That was a good
That was a
game.
good one. Back
Yeah.
and forth. The Rams pulled it out. Kyron Williams looked good. Jawan Jennings, my goodness, looks like a number one
scored like
receiver.
40
Look-
points in fantasy.
Look at the Niners after they pay Ayuk, and his production's way down. He's
Yep.
dropping balls that he should catch.
Yep.
Because he didn't play in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't out there on the practice field. Guess who was? Jawan Jennings. Guess who's showing out? Maybe there's something to preparation and practice and preseason in professional sports. It's the same thing with these quarterbacks. I mean, look, Sam Darnold played the entire preseason. Oh, is it that crazy that 3 games into the season he's in rhythm? Andy Dalton played a decent amount in the preseason. I don't know if Malik Willis did or not. He wasn't even a Packer
Well,
until like
yeah.
a week before the season
Right.
started.
I
But,
don't think, he was.
Yeah.
there's something to be said to that. All right, staying on in the NFL, but moving on. We're recapping our picks for the week.
Oof.
We
Pass.
we are we are officially going to retire the bus from betting on the NFL. Starting
I
with
think
me.
that's a good idea.
The last 2 weeks in the NFL have been absolutely brutal. About the exact opposite of what I thought should happen happened. And I led the pack this week at 2-3 with Darby. Only hitting on the Packers as my underdog and the Kansas City Chiefs to win the game barely. Houston was my lock. Not even close. All of our locks, as a matter of fact. Adam's lock was the Raiders. Dalton's lock was the Raiders. Darby, your lock was the Saints. I don't think we should pick professional sports anymore. I don't think we should be allowed to have a podcast.
I'm going to take a mulligan on this this
There we go.
week, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a lot of weird stuff happened. I'm just going to go with the weird things, right? I used Alex's way of thinking when it comes to reaching on
His
my
algorithm?
picks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's his fault.
Good thing you got that money back guarantee, right?
That's right. That's right.
60
So,
days.
I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. My theory for college did okay, but my NFL picks using Alex's research method just didn't go well. So I apologize to everybody.
No, none of us did well. Through 2 weeks of picking in the NFL and 4 total picks, I somehow lead the pack at 4-4, followed by Darby at 3-5. Dalton and Adam are at 2-6. and Alex is down there as well. So yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on that. We will answer for our shitty picks. All of us were on the Saints. I was on the Cowboys. So maybe fade us this week in the NFL if you want to win some money.
I think it's unfair because those teams should have played better, right? If they knew that we're picking them to win.
A top 10 quarterback in the league like CJ Stroud, top 10 player in the league, as I said before the season started, should be able to at least play competitively.
And they stunk.
Horrible. They scored 7
Like
points. It was so bad. All right. Before we get into college, this week's Bus Driver of the Week segment is coming up. Last week we had Derek Carr driving the bus.
He's off.
I'd say it
Brother's
is
not
officially
driving no
time
mo.
Kick him
for
out.
Derek Carr to exit
Get
the
him
bus.
out of here.
It is your stop, buddy. Get off and go back to wherever you came from. But this week we've got some new players that we want to have driving the bus. Darby, who's driving the bus for you?
So I didn't have a single player. I had a group of players. So I'm going to go with the Ravens offensive line. Like we said, was a must-win game. They allowed their offense to rush for 250 yards. I think they deserve to drive the bus this week.
It's a front heavy bus. Things gonna be sagging. Gonna be riding on the axle.
Dalton?
A lot of people wrote this team off after their quarterback went down. There was a lot of hype leading up to him in the beginning of the season. But Malik Willis for the Packers, I mean, he got traded to the Packers from Tennessee like August 26th. So just a few weeks later, Jordan Love went down. He's took over the reins after that. He's went 2-0 for him, beat his former team. I mean, I don't know what more you can ask for in a starting quarterback. So that is why Malik Willis is driving my bus this week.
All right. Adam?
I'm going with the immortal Sam Darnold, who has led his team to a 3-0 start, who has come in as the savior of the Vikings season. Because once JJ went down, it was like, oh man, season's over. Not if you got Sam Darnold. Early odds on favorite for MVP right now, maybe?
He has to be, like, if we're picking a week 3 MVP, he has to be.
Right? Who would have thought? One, no
Can't even say it with a straight face.
I know it's hard. It's hard. We're waiting for the real Sam Darnold to show up, right? But one tidbit that I thought was interesting. Do you know he is younger than Joe Burrow?
I saw that.
Did not know that.
I saw that this morning. That is wild.
Been in the league for 7 years. He came in the league
He's
at 20
20
years old.
Huh.
So maybe he's just finally finding his stride.
Where did he go to school? Do we know?
USC.
USC.
Yeah.
Yes. So Sam Darnold, he's got to be the bus driver. Has
Okay.
to be the bus driver.
I believe he is the same age as Drew Lock, actually, as well. They went to Elite 11 together. Crazy enough. Okay, I like it. My bus driver of the week this week is Saquon. He made, I think, the play of the game in that game with that 65-yard run. And you could say it was the Eagles' O-line. You could say it was a wide open hole. Whatever you want to say. He still had the acceleration out in the open field with 40 yards left to the end zone to get away from all of the secondary.
He still got some juice.
He still got some juice. Looked good. 17 carries, 147 yards, 2 tutties. Yeah, just because I think without him and without those runs that they probably lose that game. So for me, it's Saquon. He's driving the bus this week. So those are our options for bus driver of the week. We will be putting it out there to vote this week on who is going to be the bus driver. And then we will announce that on the Thursday episode. So make sure to follow the 4 Vertz on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok, and make sure that you get your votes in for the bus driver of the week.
I have a scenario question for you guys.
All right, let's hear it.
So, Willis obviously came from the Titans. Levis beat him out as a starter. If Levis was the starter for the Packers and Willis was the starter of the Titans, who would win that game? Like, is it just the team? Is it because the Packers are that much better? Or
That's a
is he
really
a
good
better
question.
quarterback?
Brother, have you seen the clips of Will Levis?
I've seen him, but I mean, they watched him through the whole training camp and all that shit through preseason, and he beat out. He wasn't even the second starter or the backup. He didn't even win the backup job.
I think
Dude.
the field would just implode into a hole because it would be just such bad football. Just nobody could win. It would just be awful.
The Titans watched Will Levis eat mayonnaise straight
That should
and
have been a
thought,
sign.
and thought, this is the guy
This is our guy.
that we want leading our franchise. Yes. And let's rename the field,
Keep Nashville weird, huh?
I guess. I don't know. I think the fans lose in that game, probably.
Just a thought. I was just thinking about it as we were talking here.
All right, we're going to move on now and recap college picks a little bit better. Not a lot for some people, but we did have Darby and Adam go 4-1 this week in college.
Yeah.
That is something to be proud of. Darby, you had West Virginia as your lock. That hit. Michigan as your underdog. That also hit. Tennessee and Michigan as your picks. And then you took Oklahoma State, was your only loss. So well done, sir. You now lead the pack at 15-5. In second overall at 14-6. I went 3-2 on the week. Tennessee is my lock. SMU is my underdog. They put up 66 points. That was a pretty good underdog. Took Tennessee, so there's my 3 wins. Unfortunately, I had Oklahoma State and USC. Miller Moss, get off the bus.
You suck.
You've been ejected. So 3-2. Next in the standings, Adam, congratulations. 4-1 week. Good week. Tennessee is the lock. Utah is the underdog. Tennessee, Utah, and then incorrect with USC as well.
Ugh. I still felt good picking against Michigan. I don't care.
Yeah, it always feels good picking against Michigan. And a lot better than last week. The only difference is we didn't cut a reel of your picks this week. I think we should probably make sure to cut a reel this next time. See if that has anything to do with the 1-4 from the previous week.
Well, I didn't use Alex's method on this week's college football picks. I think that had a lot to do with it.
But you did the week before?
I did.
Oh,
I'm going with that.
okay.
Might not be true, but I think that's what I'm going with.
We'll go with that.
Yep.
And then Dalton also 3-2 on the week. So everybody was positive here. You had Tennessee, SMU, same. Tennessee, actually, you had the exact same picks as me. So nice job, bud. I like it. You can't say I copied this time because I picked first.
That's true.
So.
Well, I did make a statement, and I'm sticking by that. I think SMU is going to beat Florida State next week.
Book it.
Look it.
What's the spread?
They only beat
Someone look
Cal
up
by
the
5
spread.
points. So
Yeah, that Florida State's just not it. You know,
Hey,
problems at quarterback, problems at coach.
They got it on the board, man.
They did. They got on the board. But they score 15 points,
it was 14-9.
14-9.
River takes. They are
Hey, a win's a win, as Chiefs
actually
fans would say.
SMU is a 5.5 point favorite.
Okay,
Are they?
Yes.
that's probably about accurate. There you go. There's your
Well-
lock, Dalton.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that was. I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Why would you?
There was
Actually,
a lot
you
of
know
points
what?
scored in that game.
It was like 66 to 44.
47.
The SMU
yeah.
game. I did actually
Yeah.
Oh, I was
catch.
talking
I
about the
catch.
Florida
I
State
caught the end
Cal.
of that one.
Okay.
That one was good to see.
I think there was a lot of big plays in that game.
The first half I don't think was really explosive because I remember seeing the score like somewhere around halftime and it wasn't anything crazy. Then I saw the total; they had 66. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they just had a massive second half. Or...
You know who the first half was explosive for? The James Madison
I don't know
Damn
their
you.
mascot.
Duke
Yeah.
Quest or whatever. Is that their mascot? I can't remember. Dukes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 50 points
In the first half.
on North Carolina in the first
Oh, wow.
half. And then they scored 20 in the second. They won 70-50 was the final score of that game.
Jesus.
Oh
My
my
Lord.
god!
Why was there
Wild.
even that much time for that much scoring
Yeah.
in a football game?
Jesus,
I don't even know.
what did the defenses go on the field or what?
Oh, actually, I apologize. Program record 53 points at halftime. James Madison had scored.
Gosh.
Yeah. Mac Brown, who's the coach for North Carolina, I think he made a joke about resigning after that loss.
And it didn't go over very well because everyone's like, maybe you should.
Yeah.
Hey, please do.
Yep. Your undefeated Penn State Nittany Lions did hang 56.
They
on
covered.
Penn State. That's right. They did
They
cover.
covered.
Right at
I
the
looked
end.
at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back door. Right at the end. Great game. Fun to watch. I love it when we just score a bunch of points.
That's always fun.
It is.
Mizzou
It
cannot
feels
say
good.
the same thing. They looked like shit.
I think
Putting it lightly.
It might be time to sound the alarms on the Mizzou football team this year.
Has
Sound the
new
alarms
ranking-
on Brady Cook, brother.
Have the new rankings
And-
came out yet?
They should have, yeah, actually.
Because they should probably be out of the top 10. after
Yeah,
that
look at
performance.
AP. Yeah, they definitely should. They need a new quarterback and they need a new kicker.
They're 11 right now.
As much
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't
about
be-
fair.
I wouldn't
That's
be
where
mad
I
if
thought
they were out
they'd
of
be.
the top 15. That was
Yeah.
brutal.
That was hard to watch. They fell 4. The good news is, and congratulations, Penn State did hop them. The good news is that Texas A&M looked about as bad as Mizzou did against Bowling Green, who you would know something about. Powerhouse, some would say.
Powerhouse. Absolutely.
So
It's a dominant force.
maybe there is hope against Texas A&M in a few weeks. It's probably a good thing that Mizzou's got the bye week this week, and they can kind of regroup. I am not nearly as hopeful going into the rest of the season as I would have liked to been following week 4 as a Mizzou fan. But as we've said multiple times, a win is a win. They are 4-0, and they're still ranked 11th in the country. So there's not a lot to complain about as a Mizzou fan.
Well, and don't forget, you've got some people would say the game of the week is Georgia at Alabama this weekend.
Yeah.
Coming up I would probably disagree and go with Illinois, 19th ranked team in the country against the number 9 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions at the same time. But we've got some good college football actually this weekend. Be excited.
Louisville, Notre Dame,
Yeah.
15-16.
Yep. Exciting to watch two teams or games with 2 ranked teams against each other. Okie State and K-State.
Yeah, K-State, that was a rough 10 minutes of
Yeah.
football. I stayed up to watch that game too Saturday night, and 6-0 lead, and then you just blink, and
I went to sleep and it was 6-0. I was like, all
it
right.
was 28-6.
That game started
5
so
minutes into the
goddamn
third
late.
half. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
think
Why do
it
they
starts
start
on
so-
9:45.
Yeah, why?
Hey, it's Big 12 after dark.
Oh.
That's what they're calling it. I'm a big fan of the Friday night games they've been doing this year. But why are we starting college football games at 9:30? That's 10:30 on the East Coast. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
unless it's a West Coast game. I mean, it's just no. Who's watching it?
K-State fans.
Darby couldn't even stay awake for it.
BYU did get ranked 22.
So you think game day is going to be at Georgia, Alabama?
It is.
Yeah.
They said it will be.
Give me the dogs.
It's a great clip by Pat.
The best.
Ohio, Michigan State this week. Texas has got Mississippi State. I'm still waiting for them to play somebody. They took care of General Booty after
Hell
about
of
a
name.
quarter.
Hell of a name.
Yeah, he got benched, I think.
Arch looked pretty good too.
Arch looked good. Made
Yeah.
some mistakes, but
Did.
that's
Yep.
all right.
Expected.
But looked like
Get him out now against Louisiana Monroe.
he looked good.
Yeah. Tennessee, I mean, they looked as good as, we thought they would against a top 25 opponent,
Yep.
at least. Miami continues to look really good.
Tennessee a pick. They're going to be in the Final Four. I'm telling you.
I could see it. I could also see Nico having a freshman type game too in the college football playoffs at some point, and then being bounced early.
Yeah. So who are you taking? You got Georgia, Alabama. Georgia is a 1.5 point favorite right now at Alabama.
It's a tough one.
Until somebody beats the dogs, I'm taking the dogs.
But the only team that beats the dogs is Alabama.
That is true.
It's at Alabama too.
They did beat them in the SEC
It is.
championship.
It is.
I could see this being a pretty low scoring game. I think Alabama might get it done. I don't know though. I don't know who I'd take.
Remember,
You're gonna have to know by
That's
Thursday.
gonna have to be
That's right.
one of our
That'll be
games.
one of the
Alright.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to know by Thursday. We're for sure picking that game. I'd say that one. Penn State, Illinois. Go Illinois.
Fuck off.
And then
Louisville, Notre Dame.
probably.
Yeah, unless any of the fans have another game they want us to pick
Yeah.
incorrectly.
No, we're good at college.
Oh, okay, that's right.
We're good at college. We just can't pick in the NFL.
Okay. At least we're good at one of them.
Oklahoma State, Kansas State will probably be pretty decent.
That'd be a good one to pick. They're probably about in the same position after both losing this week. Is Avery Johnson?
Who's
just-
KU going to lose to this week?
Who they play?
TCU?
It looks like they're going to
Oh,
lose
that
to
one's
TCU.
that game's at Arrowhead.
Is it?
Yeah, actually, would be a bad one
I wonder
to.
how much tickets are.
Yeah, I
They
was
don't
gonna
curse the stadium. Fuck.
Well, KU's
Freaking
lost 3 in a
losers.
row. What are they like? Are they giving them away for free?
The
They're
Colorado
definitely-
K-State or KU tickets went down quite a bit. I think they were like $300 to start the season, and now I think they're like $80.
I'd probably go to that one just to see Colorado play.
Big Colorado fan, huh?
No, that was a crazy game too. They shouldn't have won.
Losers.
Hail Mary to send it to overtime.
In the pouring rain.
Two Hail Marys. The play before, it went off the dude's hands and he was wide open. He would have scored. And then there was 2 seconds left.
I
They
didn't see
ran
that
it
one.
back and then did the same thing.
Very nice. They get lucky.
Yeah, that was definitely luck. Hail Marys like rarely work. Like,
2 in a row though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it that caught one, but he was like a yard short? Was that DJ Moore? And the NFL?
It was the Bears. Yeah.
He caught one.
Yeah.
Got tackled.
It
on
was
1 yard
DJ
line.
Moore because, yeah, I'm playing him in a fantasy, and that ended up being like a 5-point play,
Yeah.
40-yard pass, reception.
Yeah, you still lost though.
I don't think it was our league, but yeah, I think I need to retire from fantasy football too. I'm in 5 leagues, and I am fairly certain that
you're
these
just-
2 games tonight are not going to change any of the outcomes, and I'm going to be 0-5.
Yeah.
in
Sounds
all-
like you might just be spread a little thin.
Yeah, maybe.
5 leagues, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to say that Edmund and I didn't work together on Friday to come up with a plan to make sure you lost this weekend.
Oh, Emma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to Emma for beating you.
Yeah.
Did you tell her to pick up the Raiders defense? Or was
No,
that,
I did
was
not.
her
That
own
was
decision?
her own bad decision.
Yeah, she
Okay.
about sabotaged herself there.
Yeah, but I made sure she had George Kittle out,
Yeah.
knowing that he was going to play.
It's so frustrating because I got guys sitting there on my bench that are scoring points, and then
That's fantasy
Rashid
football,
Saheed
bud.
doesn't.
The
So.
sad
You know-
thing is you pick team, like you help the other guys pick their teams.
Well, who's going to be 0-3 after this week? There's going to be 2 teams. There's going to be my team, and there's going to be Dane's team.
And
know-
Dane bets on
and-
people.
You know
And
the-
Trent's
yeah.
team is going to be 1-2, and your team is going to be 1-2. The best a team that I picked a player for is doing is 1-2.
Dre had a pretty bad week, though. He was looking pretty
Finally.
scary, but
yeah,
I don't think Tyreek Hill's going to be a factor for him for a while.
I think the Dolphins' offense is going to be a factor for anybody for a while.
No.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
You
Poor
know,
Skyler, he had a chance, man.
How many-
something like that.
so I didn't watch the game. Was he just getting hit right and left, or was that just one big one?
I think he got sacked 5 times in the first half, but
That's not good.
They just
Yeah, not
Yeah,
good.
they
the
could never
whole
really get
Dolphins-
anything going.
The whole
It's
Dolphins team just looked bad.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. All right. Anything else, fellas?
2 games tonight.
2 games tonight, which when this comes out, they will already have happened. Should we throw out just some for fun picks for tonight? Who we
Why
got?
not?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Why not?
I
Let me
like,
pull it up here. What are the odds?
So you got Bills -4.5 at home against Jacksonville, and Cincy -7.5 at home against Washington.
Man, I'd like to see the Bills and the Bengals both lose.
Me too.
That'd be great.
I think they're both going to win.
I do
However,
too.
I know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I will take.
As a Chiefs fan, though, it'd be sweet.
The over-under is 46.5 in both games. I'm taking the Bills minus 4.5 and under in that game. And I'm taking the Bengals. I'm not betting. They're favored by 7. I'm not taking that. I'll take the under 46.5 in that one as well. Bad play continues.
Yeah. I like Jamar Chase's score, though, today. Washington's defense is a disaster.
Okay. Like it. Book it or maybe fade us. You decide.
Well, we'll know.
Oh, yeah. I guess we will know. We will know.
We'll see who's right. We'll just re-record once we see the odds. Once we see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joke's on you guys. We recorded this Tuesday morning. All right. This has been the Four Vertz podcast. Thanks for joining us again. Tune in on Thursday for the Thursday show. Follow us on social media. Send us a message. Everything and everything. Peace out.